Valentine's Day is full of some miscommunications, misconnections, and more on Season 2, Episode 3 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. Let's break it down and find out just what happened. What's going on, you lovely Wildcats? Lisa here, back to talk about another episode of High School Musical, the series. So, this week's episode is Valentine's Day, and love is in the air for East High. But the day definitely isn't perfect, and there's definitely some really cute moments between Big Red and Ashlyn, Seb and Carlos, and also Courtney crushes her solo this episode. Plus, Ricky and Nini just continue to be out of sync from the long distance relationship, and well, Ricky and Gina, it's kind of like, what's going on there? So let's break it all down. Alright, so for Ricky and Nini, they both take a page out of the romantic movie trope playbook and write each other a song, and then travel to sing it to each other. But unfortunately, they're like ships passing in the night. Nini sings her song outside Ricky's house. However, it's no longer Ricky's house because he moved and happened to leave that information out and not tell her. Yeah, so the girl that now lives in Ricky's old house got quite the surprise. Meanwhile, in Denver, one of the students tells Ricky that Nini left early to go back home, and that this whole serenade thing at the drama school just isn't original because it's like a drama school. So, the next day, Ricky has made it back home and Nini is still in town, and they plan to meet up after school to finally play each other their songs. That plan is foiled, though, when Nini FaceTimes Ricky again, and I just want to say, do these kids in this show ever actually go to any other classes? It just always seems like they're in play rehearsals, fiddling around in the auditorium or in the cafeteria, but never full-on classes. And also, I may be old because cell phones were just becoming a thing when I was in high school, but in what world are kids allowed to answer FaceTime so often in class or even outside of class in the hallways, especially just loiter in the hallways like he does? Because it's school time. I'm gonna need you guys who are in high school to actually tell me if this is realistic or not, because I feel like it's not. I don't know. But yeah, Nini FaceTimes Ricky during school to say that unfortunately they're gonna have to push their Valentine's Day song exchange until closer to dinner now because one of Nini's moms hurt her ankle and is in the hospital, so Nini has to be with her. Then when Ricky's at home practicing his song, his doorbell rings, he thinks it's Nini, he does his little happy dance, but surprise!
Gina! Hey!
I'm sorry about this. I should have called.
Yep, Gina is the one at the door, and she's actually there just because she needed someone to talk to. It's her first Valentine's Day away from her mom, who's also always her Valentine, and, well, her mom didn't seem to send a stuffed bear, which seems to be their tradition, and now Gina's feeling really down and feeling like her mom forgot about her, and that's definitely not a fun feeling. And, well, I guess she thought that she would find some solace in Ricky because he knows what it's like to be away from his mom as well. She just felt that he would understand.
Sorry, there's just some things I tell you that I don't really tell anyone else.
Yeah, no, I think we do that for each other.
Well, Nini then calls and breaks up whatever could be happening between Ricky and Gina, which right now is just a friendly conversation. And it looks like she's going to be stuck at the hospital longer than expected. So Ricky kind of explains what's going on with Nini to Gina, and Gina just tells him to call Nini and play her the song over the phone because every girl likes a sweet gesture and that she speaks from experience. And it's kind of like, what experience is she talking about? What sweet gestures? I mean, I feel like we saw Ricky do some sweet gestures in the first season to help her feel welcome and just because he's a good guy, I guess. But maybe there's some crushing going on. Who knows? But I feel like Gina took those sweet gestures and now she has a crush on Ricky. Maybe he thought he was doing it as a friend. I don't know, but I feel like it's hinting that she likes him. And I think that's true because Gina kind of then feels some awkwardness and leaves before Ricky can even really say anything else. But yeah, if that bit seemed a little awkward, it gets even more awkward. Ricky and Nini call each other at the same time, prompting them to go to each other's voicemails, but they do get to sing their songs to each other. Meanwhile, a box of chocolates shows up on Gina's doorstep, and she then gets a text from Ricky at that moment saying thanks for the advice and happy Valentine's Day. And well, kids, just another, Little note to put in your book to not jump to conclusions, because Gina assumes these chocolates are from Ricky just because of their conversation, the timing of the text, and the chocolates. And, well, yeah, there's no note with those chocolates, I'm guessing, so she sends him a text. Yeah, that's kind of awkward, right? They're not from Ricky, but from her mom. So now she's already sent that text to Ricky. She can't unsend it. And unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till the next episode to see how that plays out, if we even get that conclusion in the next episode. Maybe they'll just never talk about it, pretend it didn't happen, and be like, what are you talking about? I actually feel like this kind of a text wouldn't be as hard to kind of cover up and make an excuse for as like sending it to the wrong person. But the fact that she put Ricky's name in it, Happy V-Day Ricky, that makes it a little harder because she intended it to be for Ricky. But, I mean, you could just, I feel like that's an easy thing to kind of be like, I thought they were from you just because of the timing of our conversation. They ended up being from my mom. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. Because it seemed like a friendly text, too. I feel like it doesn't have to have any romantic implications there. I feel like Ricky wouldn't think anything like that, but who knows? It definitely is, though, trying to stir up drama. It's the writers trying to get that little hint of they know people like Ricky and Gina. They know people like Ricky and Nini. They want to have that little love triangle because these shows kind of have that. So they're playing with is it a friendship? Is it not a friendship? Are there mutual feelings? Is it one-sided? Is it just a crush? What is it? Well, that's going to be some drama, but let's talk about our other couples. Seb is still kind of trying to figure out how to handle the fact that he and Carlos come from different income households. Carlos surprises Seb with a sled because Seb mentioned that he had one during childhood and kind of missed it, and I just kind of want to know how Seb played through whole number and stuff without realizing that there was a sled under his piano, because the way that he pulled it out, it totally would have been messing with the pedals. So that's just me overthinking and nitpicking, but whatever. Seb ends up getting some advice from Courtney, and she says that he just needs to find something organic and authentic to give to Carlos, and for Seb to just be himself. So Seb does just that. He gives Carlos the same candy heart that Carlos used to look under the seat, and at first Carlos is just like, why'd you give me a pot with some dirt? But then Seb explains the meaning of it, that he planted some seeds from his family's farm in it, and he thought they could have something that could grow with them together as they grow as a couple. And Carlos loves it. I love it. I think it's super sweet. It kind of reminds me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, when she gives him the love fern. You know, watching their love grow. Let's move on to another couple. We have Big Red and Ashlyn, who I really love, and I think they are the cutest little thing that I must protect at all costs. This episode really lets the two of them shine. So, Big Red is nervous because he's trying to impress Ashlyn for Valentine's Day. He's come up with this big number surprise. He wants to get everything right, but unfortunately he gets stuck in Ashlyn's locker, so that goes wrong. So he's kind of like, can we meet up later at Salt Lake Slices for a surprise? And he's super nervous because Ashlyn got the lead in the musical, and he basically thinks he's not the kind of guy who dates the lead in the play. He thinks she's out of his league now, he's not good enough for her, and he's struggling with that. But little does he know that Ashlyn is also struggling. While she wants to be Belle, she's having a hard time grasping kind of that she got the role, because she doesn't look like the Belle people are used to when it comes to the movies and maybe what you've seen in plays before. So she's like, this is kind of a big thing to take on. She's having a little doubt in herself. So later when Ashlyn goes to the pizza place, she stops Big Red from doing his number and says she just wants to talk. And that's when Ashlyn reveals that she loves being the lead, but she knows she's probably going to be under a lot of scrutiny, but even more self-scrutiny because she doesn't feel like a Belle in certain ways. And then Big Red says this.
You're perfect, Ashlyn. I think you should play the princess in everything.
And I just gotta say, we all deserve someone like Big Red in our lives. He is such a good guy. Everybody deserves a Big Red. But Big Red also reveals to Ashlyn that he feels like he has to prove he's even cool enough to date Ashlyn, and she's kind of like, what are you talking about? And they're both kind of shocked to learn that the other has these kinds of insecurities, but they just continue to prove that they're couple goals.
I'm just really happy being afraid together.
Yeah. Same.
I just love them, and so we gotta know, does Big Red ever get to do his big number? The answer is yes. If you watch the credits, thankfully it's there, and it's such a cute number. It's well done. The two of them together dance perfectly, plus Larry's tap skills. I love it. Struggling a little with her transition to the stage and finding her voice. She's checking things off her vision board, gets a job as the new assistant manager at Salt Lake Slices, and she's just ready to thrive and become financially independent. But then she has an encounter with an employee who gives her a lot of attitude, keeps saying her name wrong, doesn't even tell her his name, kind of scolds her for moving things around. Definitely not something you would say to someone who's now kind of your boss. He says they've had 5 bosses in the last 3 months and he just doesn't expect her to last long, and basically walks all over her. And well, we're kind of used to seeing a really strong, confident Courtney, but that seems to have shaken her up a little, because then in rehearsals as she's singing Beauty and the Beast, she's really timid and unsure of herself, and Miss Jenn tells her to sing out and look at Belle and Beast during this song, but she's having problems with that, so she confides in Seb about how she's always been able to sing loud, not had a problem finding her volume at church where she's comfortable, but here on stage she's really struggling to find her volume and just her confidence with that. Well, Seb tells her to not worry, that she's gonna be fine. Then at her next shift, that guy comes back after delivering some pizzas and basically says that Courtney's new methods have actually worked. He got a bigger tip than normal, and he gives her her cut of the tip and actually says, "See you tomorrow, boss." So yeah, now he's finally paying her respect, and it's kind of like, right now you haven't won me over just yet. It's not a very good first impression. I guess he also finally thinks that now she's worthy of knowing his name, and he says that his name is Howie. But yeah, like I said, I think these two might be butting heads. They're also kind of setting it up to be, I feel like, a love interest for Courtney. But right now, Howie's not winning any brownie points. He's kind of like, you can do better than that, Courtney, until he kind of proves that he is a good guy, because I can get the frustration that he's had with this job, but that's not how you treat someone when you first meet them. Anyway, after gaining back kind of a boost of confidence, Courtney gets a voice note along with a cute Mrs. Potts and Chip pic from Seb, and Seb has laid down a special arrangement of Beauty and the Beast for her to practice with and to really help her find her voice. So she starts playing it, she starts singing the song, and she's a little timid at first, but as she's walking around, you see her get that confidence back, and she belts out the song, and while she's in the back singing and getting her groove back, Big Red and Ashlyn are sweetly dancing to the song in the dining room, and I think they've had the best Valentine's Day. But if you thought those teenagers' love lives were complicated, let's enter Miss Jenn into the picture. So she's working late at school when Lily pops out of nowhere to say that she's transferring up north, which of course means she's going to North High now, and you can kind of see a little bit of panic in Miss Jenn's face, because it's kind of like, great, another powerhouse voice going to our rival school, while she's got the horrible attitude and not in our play. She's just gonna add to the competition of North High. Then Lily says that she's going to write about the moment that Miss Jenn passed over her for the lead as the moment that changed her life in the future biography about her, the story of her life. And then she suddenly disappears, which kind of freaks Miss Jenn out a little, so she ends up calling for Mr. Mazzara, who's walking by, and now she's on a first name basis. They're friendly now. She calls him Benjamin, and we just seen how they've grown since that first season. And she also ends up asking him to dinner. They then go to Salt Lake Slices and are having a good chat, and Benjamin, I feel like it's weird for me to call him Benjamin. I still want to call him Mr. Mazzara, so I think I'm going to stick with that. But her and Mr. Mazzara are talking, and he says that they have more in common than they thought. But then she grabs him, and at first it kind of looks like, ooh, is she making a move? Is she going to kiss Mr. Mazzara? Is this going to happen? But no, she's nervous because she sees her biggest crush in Salt Lake at the counter alone on Valentine's Day. And who's that biggest crush in Salt Lake City? It's Ricky's dad. And so she asks Benjamin, or Mr. Mazzaro, what she should do, and he says, go have a conversation. So she leaves him to go talk to Ricky's dad, and I think there's a bit of sadness in Mr. Mazzaro's eyes. I think he's kind of developed a liking for Miss Jenn, so we'll have to see how that plays out, because right now it seems like Miss Jenn's blind to it. It's kind of like the Ricky and Gina situation. It's the one-sided crush, maybe? I don't know, but we're gonna have to wait to see how that plays out, because those are pretty much the only events of this episode, or that's the main events of this episode of High School Musical, the series. And yeah, lots of things happening with our couples. Carlos and Seb and Big Red and Ashlyn took some steps forward in their communication skills and understanding each other. And Ricky and Nini, things unfortunately keep getting more complicated by the minute. And well, if you're a fan of Ricky and Gina getting together, I feel like the events of this episode may give you some hope in that direction. I'm not sure. I don't even know if I like either of the couples better than each other. I do like Ricky and Gina's friendship though, and part of me doesn't want that to be messed up by romantic feelings. But then again, like I said previously, these shows kind of thrive off the teen love triangles and that drama, because otherwise, what real drama besides show drama is there between them? I don't know, but let's watch the promo for the next episode.
Next, on High School Musical, the musical, the series.
If this long-distance thing is getting hard, we can talk about that.
Big, splashy group numbers always succeed at the Menke Awards.
Woo!
Absolutely.
I'm the choreographer, and she's the co-choreographer.
Oh, what was that? If I don't make it back to Denver tonight, I'll miss class in the morning.
We'll get you back where you belong.
Okay, some jealousy here is coming out between Carlos and Gina. You know how Gina couldn't really share the spotlight in the first season and stuff, and we saw her change in the second episode of this season? Well, it seems like now Carlos is going to be struggling with that, as Gina's a really darn good dancer, so I could see why she would kind of be taking the reins on a certain number, but he doesn't seem to be into that. And of course, if you want more drama, throw in a snowstorm, because that's gonna make people have to be in an area together, and for some reason we gotta wonder why Miss Jenn is even driving Nini back to Denver. Was she like maybe gonna use this trip to convince Nini to come back, because now that she knows that Lily is at North High, they really need some extra power here? If Nini misses classes, like she said, she's gonna get in trouble. Will that be a strike? She's already kind of on thin ice with one of her professors. Could that maybe get her kicked out of school and coming back? Who knows? But I feel like in my heart, I feel like Nini is going to come back to be in this show somehow. But if she does, who would she play? I don't even know. I just want Nini to be happy, because she looks so miserable so far in this season, and I'm not digging it. I need her to be happy. But yeah, I want to know what you thought about this episode. Do you have any theories for what could be coming up when it comes to Nini and Ricky and Gina, the other couples, even the show in general? And we need more of the rivalry with North High. That even hasn't fully come into the picture yet. It's been mentioned, we've seen little bits, but now we really kind of need to see the shows really go head to head. I feel like it's going to be like those scenes in Glee when the other school would come and they just kind of like force themselves to have a sing-off or Camp Rock, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me know all your thoughts and theories. Did you like this episode? Which couple are you rooting for? And yeah, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my HSM videos, and check out some of those right over here. As always, I'm Lisa. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble. I will see you next time.